Hi everyone and welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. Today's topic is all about how insecure narcissists really are. I have said many times that narcissists are insecure, but I haven't actually done a video to explain it. And some people think because the narcissist has a big ego or is very proud that they are not insecure, but that is not the case. Narcissists are very insecure. They are unconfident, afraid, and worried individuals. They wear masks as a means to protect their fragile ego and deceive people. Their insecurity is on a whole other level because it is usually well hidden. But there are ways to spot narcissistic insecurity, which I will get into. But let us first address the fact that many narcissists advertise themselves as being confident or quietly sure of themselves. They like to make believe that they are happy, successful, and superior to those around them. But the narcissist's delusions can only last as long as those around them continue to buy what they are selling and provide the narcissist with narcissistic supply. Narcissists need us to validate them, compliment them, believe, and trust them. So when we tell them things that are not in line with their false identity, it is like throwing a rock in their face. When we buck up against a narcissist and dismantle their lies or call them out for exactly what they are, it angers and hurts them immensely. Narcissists consider the truth of who they are an insult. So when we criticize them, it is an insult. Words do hurt, and the narcissist is not immune either. Our words that attack their fake image and tear down their delusions hurt them to the core. That is something I went into in this video because narcissists care what others think about them. They live their lives to impress people. They do and say things that will send narcissistic supply their way. A narcissist's life is built on lies, and sooner or later that wall of lies will come tumbling down upon them and they will get hurt. And all their insecurities and shame will rise to the surface. So although narcissists are usually good at hiding their insecurities, there are a few things they do that expose those insecurities. And the first one is projection. Like all their negative qualities, narcissists also project their insecurities onto others. They have to break others down in order to feel good about themselves. Narcissists love to gossip, slander, and criticize others. As I always say, they take pleasure in our pain, and tearing someone down every chance they get makes them feel better. Narcissists are insecure, and they enjoy making others feel insecure. Another sign of narcissistic insecurity is their need to broadcast what they have or what they have accomplished. Narcissists like to talk about stuff they are doing so that they can appear to be busy or an important person. They want others to know that they are constantly progressing in one area or the next. If you had to listen to some narcissists speak, you would be convinced that their lives are perfect. They are always doing great, their children are great, life is fantastic. But it is all a show to compensate for their insecurities. The narcissist wants you to believe that their life is better than yours. And another underhanded way narcissists brag about themselves is by displaying false modesty. It is referred to as humble bragging. And the best definition I came across was from the Urban Dictionary, which defines it as when someone consciously tries to get away with bragging about themselves by pairing it with a phony show of humility. They would basically use complaints or humility to promote themselves. The problem with narcissists is that they don't only want to feel valued and important, they also want you to know about it. It means nothing to the narcissist if no one knows or they cannot brag about it. By humble bragging, they are able to publicize themselves and fish for compliments all at the same time. And this takes us into the third sign of narcissistic insecurity, which is their discontentment. Because although on one hand they claim their lives are so-called perfect, they still want more. Narcissists are insatiable creatures, and because they know they are faking it, they can never be at peace or settled. Nothing and no one are ever good enough for them. Something is always lacking. Something is always needed as an extra layer to complement their fake identity. So those are the three signs to look out for when it comes to narcissistic insecurity. There's projection, there's humble bragging, and discontentment. But what we also need to remember is that narcissists are some of the fakest people you will ever meet. Their masks help them to hide their true feelings and intents. And it is because of their own insecurities why they look to steal our individuality, confidence, and independence when we get trapped in a relationship with them. Because in the mind of the narcissist, we have to be made weak for them to feel strong. But to conclude, even though the narcissist's insecurities are not always as plain as day, the way they operate and respond to situations reveals that insecure nature that they try to hide. And when we break down their delusions of grandeur with certain words and statements we make, wounds are uncovered and the insecurities and shame they try to hide arise. And all at once, the narcissist is hurt, angry, and afraid, all at the same time. The narcissist has a lot of hidden pain and issues. They are ashamed of their true self and know that behind that facade of confidence is a fearful, insecure person. So no matter how much they try to lie to themselves that they are this or that, even they know that their fake image can only do so much. But pretend they will with all their might, but to no avail, because nothing will ever be good enough for them. Their insecurities will always remain, and happiness will never be theirs. As usual, I hope this was clear and beneficial in some way. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Many thanks for listening.